plan. What I wanted to do, thank you. What I wanted us to spend some time doing, I figured it would mostly be family this evening. What I really wanted to gather from us today is, I think we all understand the nature of what's happening in the world around us, in the market and so forth. And of course, that has its impact on all kinds of things, including the price and all the things that impact the price, confidence, people's willingness to take risks. Where do we feel the greatest value is for the contribution of us gathering together? So like what's the value you're looking for and you think others might be looking for that would bring them to calls like this or bring them to projects like this? What is it that we could do more of together?
Cool.
Hey, Marlene, I'm not sure if you're intended to be unmuted, but you are. Okay. But we'd love to hear from you. Hey, Peter, good to see you on the call, brother. Hope you're getting better and better and better. Sending you love.
Thanks, thank you.
Yeah. Mo, I saw you unmuted. Did you want to come in? Okay. Well, I'd love for us to have a conversation tonight, because I don't want to make a presentation about a project that we all know about. And I really want our time to be valuable when we gather together. I don't want to position myself as somebody who has access to information that we don't. So we generally don't want to come to these calls with the sense of we're going to be able to share a whole bunch of stuff that somebody's telling us that they're not telling you. So we want to make sure that what we're doing here has value for all of us to continue to gather. When the market slows down and consumer confidence goes down, there's just going to be a lot less excitement in the air. And that's natural. And I think part of just us continuing to gather is an important part of a service and the value that we offer within a community, is that it's a way of staying plugged in so that when the cycles come and go, there's the consistency of what we do. But I really would love to hear from some of you guys who are just consistent, who are regulars. What do we fill in these blanks with? You know, there's not as many exciting stories necessarily in a market that's moving like this. What do we fill in these blanks with? Anybody? Hey, Gino.
Good evening, David. How is everybody doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's doing good. May I have 1 minute of everyone's time tonight?
You got it, man.
Thank you very much. Sorry to change topics. I'm really, really sorry, David. I love you so much, but there's a lot. Yeah, of course, man. We're family here, and we want to make sure that everything goes in the right direction here. Today, and as we're speaking, things are happening, and I just want to know. I'd like to hear from the community on what are their thoughts on why sometimes our token value goes up and our token value goes down. I think a lot of people have a lot of fear, and the fear drives a lot of decisions. Well, I can't say we all know that, but certain people know that when we invest. And if you don't know that, like, please try to understand that fear dictates your every movement and moment in our crypto space here, and not only ours, in others. Like, you don't have to invest here in FSTSwap. You can be with Ethereum and Bitcoin, but people's fear always dictates the token value in my mind. I think that people need to start believing in what we have here. And it happens all the time. Look, I've been involved in crypto for 1 year now, but I've done a lot of research, and I'm doing research every single day. And there's been at least 3 of these bear markets so far. 3. And this is the best time for everybody to invest, because this is a bear market. Everybody freaks out. And I'm sorry that a lot of the people in our community don't come on these calls. They chat in our FSTSwap group, but they should be coming on these calls to understand, to invest in a project such as ours and understand what's going on. So what's going on, you may ask? I'll tell you what's going on. Fear is dictating this project. Everyone needs to stop, hold their tokens, and invest in the liquidity pool. If we don't have a strong liquidity pool, we all know that things crumble. We need to stay in the liquidity pool and stop being day traders. Nobody wins as a day trader. If you don't believe me, go to other groups and talk about day traders and see how far they go. Paul's always said from the beginning, and other leaders before him, if you stay here and you be strong in the liquidity pool, you become the banker. So let's be the banker and stop selling and trading on a daily basis, or trading on a whimsical fear that we have that we're going to crumble when we've been around for so long and we had over 300 million in the liquidity pool. That's all I have to say tonight. I hope that everybody listens to this, being that it's a recorded call, and stay in this project and stop trading. Thank you very much.
All right, Gino, thank you. Anybody else have thoughts? Hey, AJ. And
Hey,
guys, feel free. I'm on my phone, so feel free to just unmute and jump in. It'll be no need to raise your hand.
Okay.
We're all good.
Well, good evening, everyone. And Gino, that was perfectly stated. That's the mindset that we really need to have in this project. It's not a trading opportunity. It's an investment opportunity, and investors always look long term. So that really needs to be our mindset on this. The things that are happening, outside of our control, across the waters. We know that we have a strong development team, and they have a strong vision, and they deliver, and they've proven that. So we need to keep our mindset as investors and bankers, not as traders. So I support Gino's comments 100%. And I know that summers are always difficult for folks because so many things are going on. So it doesn't surprise me that there's maybe a lack of participation. It's just that a lot of stuff goes on during the summer, so it makes it very difficult. Not only for direct, and this is not a direct marketing business, but for any community, it's difficult to keep things flowing during the summer months. So I don't think that should be a distraction for us either, as those, some of the people are not interested. It's just that a lot's going on. So just stay focused, keep loving one another, loving the community, loving your family, and treat this as an investment. It's long term. Don't get caught up in the ups and downs. That's all I wanted to say, David.
Awesome. Thank you for that. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any thoughts?
Sorry, I'm coming back in. We're on these calls on a weekly basis, everyone. You all have an investment here. And I know, I believe David has said this many times, and Carlos as well. Everyone should speak. If you feel something's wrong or you don't like where the investment's going and you're on these calls, I think you guys should speak. You guys are all shareholders of FSTSwap. We're all united. You guys should speak. If you have a concern, speak. Like there's no problems. Don't just listen to the calls. I know you have questions. Everyone has questions, David, I'm sure. Would you agree?
I would imagine.
And sometimes everyone's shy to speak. No question is dumb. No question is stupid. I started a year ago, and every day I'm learning. I suggest that everybody goes on podcasts and type up cryptos and type up one of my favorite podcasts is Crypto 101. Go and do your research. This is a new game. So what I learned just recently, if I may, David, is that there was about $3 trillion invested in crypto, and now it's down to 1 trillion. And then in the next, I don't know, I think it was 7 or 8 years from now, it's going to go to $40 trillion investing into crypto. So this is definitely the bear market. So as an investor, and Carlos speaks all the time about this. I always listen to Carlos. I'm on every call. This is our investments. Everyone should be on these calls. So all I'm saying is that if it's a bear market, now's your time to understand. And if you don't understand, there's been at least 3 bear markets, or this is the 3rd, I may be wrong. And we've always come back from a bear market. In 2 years after a bear market, things are going through the roof. So now is your time to get involved. Hey, you don't want to get involved in this project? No problems. Nobody's telling you have to invest in this project. Go invest in any project, because now is the time. It's a bear market. So the opportunity is here for us right now. In 2 years from now, you will see. And if you don't believe me, look at the history of the bear markets of crypto. So just my other 2 cents.
Thank you, Gino. Gino's fired up about it. Appreciate you, Gino. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Let me just double check. Make sure we don't have any guests. Anybody? Doesn't look like we have any guests on the call. Guys, I see a couple of you popped in since we got our call started. So we're really just having a conversation. Wanted to understand or ask the question and really create some space for input from you all as to where you see the value of the things that we do, particularly considering the nature of the market. How do we bring value and into our calls, into our Telegram space, into the conversations that we're having with people? Any ideas, any thoughts? And the reason it's important for you to contribute, to Gino's point, is that we do these gatherings, we have these conversations because what was inspired in the story of Pengu when we first saw this project was the way that they gathered and empowered themselves through the experience of learning about crypto. And so we want to make sure that this reflects what matters to those of you guys who continue to show up. So I'm going to continue to ask if you have some thoughts. Please feel free to share it. I know maybe, there maybe not necessarily be questions, but certainly if you've got thoughts, or you've got some thoughts, questions, ideas, any of that. We want to continue to nurture this as a space where you get to participate and have a voice. Hey, Cynthia.
Hi, yes, I'm a little bit disconnected. I mean, I've been maybe on the calls, but not able to really focus because I think we're really short at work and I've been working lots of hours, overtime hours. But I need to know what I need to continue to do because I haven't bought anything. I've seen things to discontinue this. I'm just lost and disconnected. So maybe I can get with AJ after the call and see where I need to pick up and continue to invest because I love to buy when the prices are low.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I think there's probably a lot of folks in a similar position where it's like, life comes at us, and so sometimes you've got to just go deal with other things. And again, when the performance of the asset isn't exciting you, it doesn't draw you to look at it as often. And so maybe one of the things that we could do, and if you guys think this would be valuable, is that we devote a call to just going through the basics of what's happening, how to get involved, just super basics. So something that somebody who's brand new could get started with, but somebody who's in the project but maybe disconnected could get caught up with. Does that sound like what you're talking about, Cynthia?
Yes, or I can get with AJ, because I haven't spoke to AJ in months. I haven't reached out. I've just been really focusing on easy, and I got a little off track with that when I flooded my kitchen. So my easy money went for my deductible. But I'm ready to start back, put money into EasyBot and the other project. So yeah,
All right, well, AJ,
sounds good.
I'll reach out to you and we'll have a conversation before the weekend's out.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, David, and everybody else.
And AJ, while I've got you here, and I think you're still unmuted, I want you to speak to some of the work that you do, and I know your background's kind of unique, but just the intention around the work that you do to help other people direct their investments, and just why you have confidence having that relationship with directing them into this project. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Well, sure, David. I'll be happy to speak about that. I know that a lot of people aren't really familiar with it. They don't know how to get engaged. And there's just so much new stuff all around this industry that people are not familiar with. So it's not easy for people to make decisions. So what I have done with a lot of folks that I know, and I typically don't do this with people that I don't know, unless they come from a close referral, but we set up an investment club. And they can put in $100, I have units for $500, but it allows them to accumulate their investment, and we put it inside of a trust, and the trust makes the investments for them with me serving as the fund manager. And and the goal is to allow them to get involved, and along the way begin teaching them and showing them different strategies on how they can even get further engaged and further involved, and begin transitioning. For example, we're setting up now accounts for all of the participants in the fund with KuCoin, so they can get used to digital assets and begin having custodianship of a digital account. And that will be one of the ways that we'll use to be able to transfer assets, whether they want to put in more, or if there's a time where withdrawals can be made, then their withdrawals or distributions will come through that account. So it allows us to really get people who have no familiarity at all. They don't even know how to open up a digital account. It's not as easy as just going to the corner bank branch and opening up or even online opening up a bank account. And there are a lot more complexities with it. So this is just a strategy that we've used to try and get more people engaged and begin the process of getting them transitioned into crypto, because we all know that that's where the future is going. And we don't want the community to be left behind, not knowing how to get engaged. And that's one of the benefits of 10x crypto, is that we're all kind of focused on that same strategy, is to provide a pathway for people to get engaged that normally are left outside of the financial markets and arenas. So we are working with people even as far as getting their mindset on being a crypto estate planner. How do you start putting assets aside and start building your crypto estate the same way that you would plan anything else for your family? So these are some of the conversations that we have when we get together, and some of the tools that we're trying to provide people to get engaged and learn a little bit more about this space, and to have, investment mindset. And we'll teach them about trading too. This is not the call where we talk about trading, but there's a nice complement with EasyBot as far as helping people learn what trading is about. Trading and investing are two completely different concepts. And FSTSwap is an investment. It's not a trading opportunity. It's an investment opportunity. And that's why we have to stay focused, not get caught up in all the fear that goes on. Markets go up and down. And we have to let the market do what the market does. And if you're comfortable with your evaluation and the use strategy of what Pangu is about, then there's no reason to worry about these bear markets, because the use scenario is still the same, and they're still delivering on those use concepts. So there's no reason for us to get caught up in the ups and downs and the things that markets go through. And we do have a lot of people that are trading inside of Pangu rather than treating it as an investment. So that's one of the reasons why it's difficult for us to break across these resistance levels that we have right now. But it's going to happen. And as long as projects are coming onto the platform, developers are moving towards their plan, it's going to happen. And we just have to let it take that course. But those are just some of the things, David, I think you're asking me to kind of share about what we're doing with some individuals. And if anybody wants to, see the format that we're using to set up the trust and do estate planning and create tools for individuals to use to kind of lock in their digital assets inside of a will and inside of a trust, I'll be happy to share that info. But also tax advantages too. Of course, we know that, and I'm not a tax attorney, so I can't really speak on it, but we do have people that have that experience that share things with us. So we know that there are also some tax advantages to setting things up in the trust and making sure that you're protecting your estate for your families.
Awesome. Thank you, AJ. Hey, Julio, I see you unmuted.
Yeah, I just wanted to run a quick question by you guys. So this is related to the burn pools within FSTSwap. So I invested about maybe 44 fund thereabout about a couple of weeks ago. And then what I didn't understand was I saw a box immediately above the burn pool section that stated, I think it said fund weight, like fund weighted 46. I invested 44 fund and it was telling me that 46 fund was weighted or supposed to be waiting on 44. What I don't understand is if that 44 is the number of fund that I would be getting at the end of the burn pool period. I'm not sure what that fund above the number of funds that I invested was for. I'm still not clear.
Got it. I got you. I don't have a picture of what you're asking. Sanjeev, did you hear the question? Or if there's somebody else that is clear on Julio's question, please feel free to jump in.
So it's yeah, it says it's very specific. It says, so I'm on it right now. It says
All right, let me go there.
it says fund burned 44, and then right above it says fund weight harvest 46. I'm not sure what the 46 fund is actually. So I had gone into the 60-day burn pool, That's the one that I went in.
Got it. Okay. Give me just a bit. I'll try to get logged in here and see if I can answer that for you. And of course, if we have somebody on the call that knows what Julio's asking, please feel free to jump in. Julio, we'll come back to it, okay?
All right, cool.
Gino, I saw your hand up a couple times. You want to come back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm just not sure if you guys are following what's going on right now on the let's call it the ticker here. We've dropped again, and it's alarming that everyone keeps doing what they got to do here, but the bear market is definitely spooking people out. So what I'm trying to say right now is that everyone, this is a very, very good opportunity right now. Yeah, OSK, for example, is at $16.21. Let's go to FIST. FIST, for the first time in a year, I've never seen it this low, is at 85 cents. You can buy a FIST. So I know people are going to jump in right now and they're going to make a lot of money. So if you're here and listening to this call, I would definitely advise you to jump in at 85 cents for a FIST. I can't right now, or I would. 84.97 right now. I would. This is a great opportunity. David, what do you think about investing at this time? What tell us a little bit more about this project, David. I mean, we know what it's all about, but why are people selling like so crazy? What are your thoughts? That's what I want to know. What are your thoughts here?
What are my thoughts on why people are selling?
Yeah. I know it's fear, but what are your thoughts? That's my opinion, but what are your thoughts?
Let me asterisk everything I say by saying I'm certainly not offering financial advice, and I'm definitely not into speculation. But I respect the question, and I think there are some factors at play that are we've talked about this, right? We've talked about the broader market implications. We've talked about just fear in general. We've talked about the disconnect that's happened within the community itself, where community went through a couple of really challenging events in February and again in April, and the fallout of that has created some challenges and some opportunities as well. So there's all of that, the momentum of a singular voice or a singular community with a really clear kind of pathway. This community is healing from that experience. And so it's doing that in the midst of a really challenging market. And so for me, I step back from all of that and I say, well, there's really two questions. Is this an indication the project is over? Is it an indication it's a good time to buy? And have the fundamentals of the project changed significantly? Did something happen in the last 24 hours, 48 hours? Is there some unknown news that I don't know about? And unless any of the fundamentals of the project change, every project goes down at some point. Every coin goes down.
Can I interrupt you right there?
Investment is about.
Can I interrupt you right there?
Of course.
I think and trust me, everyone. I just want everyone to know that I think I've invested a lot of money here into this FSTSwap exchange. OSK, FON, FIST. I have invested. Okay, so I'm speaking because I've invested. I think the fundamentals have changed, and I'm speaking because I've invested and I've seen the dollar, let's say the value go up and down. And tonight I see a lot of fear on the market, and I haven't even touched anything. I'm not running to go and sell my tokens. I'm still here talking, but yet I'm watching what's going on. And I'm like, all right, so it's going down. Who cares? We've said this so many times. Wait, and let's wait and wait and wait to see it go back up. So I want to rewind what I said earlier. The market was at 3 trillion into the crypto market in the bull market. Now it's at, they say, 1 trillion. So we've lost 30%, maybe more, since everything started to crumble a little bit. Okay, not a problem, because the vision here, and it, again, look it up, is going to be 40 trillion and up. Well, that's a big difference in the crypto market from 1 trillion, 3 trillion to 40 trillion. So in the next couple of years, things will move. And David, you can take over from here, I guess.
That's okay. Continue, you're fired up tonight, and I appreciate it. You know, for me, in terms of fundamentals, are there going to be changes in evolution in a project? Things will happen. You know, the business will demand it. Circumstances around you will demand it. Things that you didn't perceive or foresee require adjustment. But in terms of the execution of the roadmap that we initially understood, so we were introduced to a community that operated in a sense of consensus around the idea of supporting the liquidity pool. And we saw that in its numbers. We saw the participation of a community that understood we've got to be in a liquidity pool. And we saw that when the community abandoned liquidity pool, got hurt. So that community has learned the hard way how to protect itself by being in the liquidity pool. That, for me, I feel really good about. And I know because the liquidity pool is at the heart of a DeFi project, that's a really meaningful experience that we went through as a community. Now, in terms of roadmap and so forth, we went through launching different coins, mining, DEX, building for blockchain. So far, we've executed on the plans that have been talked about. We still have some things that are hanging out there that bring up questions for all of us, as they should, like NFTs on the entertainment pieces, NFT for PG NFTs. There's some unanswered questions, and part of our gathering and our accountability is to ask those questions. But in the broader scheme of things, I also appreciate that, and this is just me personally, I appreciate that the significant impact on this project happens totally outside of my control and our control. So we could all be 100% committed to doing all the things necessary for this project, and the 20 of us on this call tonight will have zero impact on ultimately the success of the project. So then the question is, well, why would you do that? Well, for me, the reason I do that is because I think there's more to gain than there is to lose. I have a belief that the broader, bigger part of this community understands what it needs to do to make this project successful. There's a whole lot of faith in that, because the reality is I have very, very little influence ultimately today, as it is today, in whether this project succeeds or fails. So there's that understanding of the situation that I'm in and the decision that I've made, the context of the decision that I've made to invest in this project, to believe in this project's ability to deliver on what it said. What I'm believing in is the people and what we, the people, have done so far. Then the other side of that is, well, how do I empower myself as much as possible so that I can have as much impact in this project as I possibly can? And that question led us down the road to deciding to become a node, because the bigger and wider, broader we can spread the message to people in the English-speaking community, the more impact that has on what happens in this project. And if we can influence that, then we have a better chance of protecting and growing our investment. And that's a huge spectrum in between. I have zero control to, let me see what I can do to take control. Anywhere in between there, we all get to fall. And for me, my risk tolerance vacillates through there all the time, because I'm constantly looking at things that are changing and asking questions. And the things that are really, really important to me just haven't changed. And that's, for me, the fundamentals. I mean, we can talk about the technical fundamentals, but the fundamentals that make me make the decisions in light of all of the risks that's involved in a project like this, they haven't really changed. So I see the price as an opportunity. I do think that there are some very unique events happening within our community and have been happening in the last couple of weeks that are also impacting the price. And so eventually that will settle itself. That's all I got.
Nicely put, David. One other question before I go. Maybe everybody's sick about me talking, but one of the question I have is, we are a part of an Asian crypto swap exchange. It all started in Asia. I know we had Paul before, and Paul is very busy, I know, doing what he's got to do, communicating with the Asian market. Who is going to be our liaison between Paul and our international community? Because I know he's very busy and everybody gets spread thin. So my question is, who is going to communicate what the other side is thinking and vice versa?
I mean, we haven't lost access to Paul. He was just on a call with us a week ago. So he's still very much involved. DeFi Max is very much involved. He was on a call with us Monday. So the channels of communication in between hasn't changed. And if you think they have, then we could talk about that. But as far as I'm aware, or I'm experiencing, there hasn't been a significant change. You think otherwise, Gino?
I think otherwise. Yes, I do. I know that the DeFi Max is on and Paul is on, but this is such a grand project of ours. And we've all said that certain characters are not. I'm a character myself, just to be clear. Certain characters are not running the projects. So I'm just trying to have a liaison between the two groups. And you said, okay, now we have DeFi Max and Paul, but I haven't heard from Paul in a while. I think it's very important that Paul comes on. And I also think that our developers, I think that's what I've been trying to, in my mind tonight, try to say tonight, is that I think one of the developers that are working on our project should come on and talk to all of us and give us an insight on what's happening with the project. I think that would make a lot of sense. Thank you.
Gotcha. So yeah, I hear you. I'd love anybody else, if you want to weigh in on that before I say anything, leave it open for a minute. No other thoughts? So I'll share a couple things that, and I appreciate your sharing and your perspective, Gino. I know that a lot of what Paul is focused on right now is bringing projects and communities to the project. So, excuse me, bringing developers and communities to the project. And we've talked about this a few times in the last couple of calls, but really where we are right now, because there is a business that has to be fed. There's, in our previous phase, we were investing in ideas. Today, there's a real business, and it has its own economics that have to succeed. And so to feed that engine, you need a massive amount of people that are participating in the community. And so this isn't to be deflective at all, but like I look at a call like the calls that we hold. Right now, there are 20 of us on a call. We might have 50, we might have 100 people on the call. The people that Paul's attention is focused on are bringing 50,000 people to the project. It's increasingly more difficult to justify showing up on a call to answer a lot of the same questions, oftentimes related to price action, when what he knows in his mind he's got to do, because the role that he plays is to bring business to the project, he's not bringing that business by being on a call where 100 people are listening to a story they already know. And so he's not disconnected, but he's committed to doing what it takes to make the project successful. So just some perspective that I hope helps.
No, it does. It does actually. So my question now is, how does Paul bring business to the project?
So the way that a project like Jockey Club shows up, for example, I mean, he has a specific, he's connected within the crypto community to people that know people that are doing projects. So he's already in that world. So he has a lot of people and a lot of contacts that he can talk to. And so he's selling the idea of why they should bring their project to FSTSwap. And obviously he's a great person at making that presentation. But he's also fishing for developers. And I forget what his process is, but he actually he actually goes out and looks for people that are launching projects and is looking to develop relationships that might turn into something that's coming onto the platform. And so again, that's really important work that he's doing on all of our behalf, because what we've done in the kind of shoulder to shoulder building of the community, we've got to take that and 10x that effort. Like we've got to bring massive amounts of people into the project, especially on the English speaking side of things. But with all that being said, he's definitely still available. And well, I think we did a call with Paul like 10 days ago. So I'm curious if, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was last week, Wednesday, that we did a call with Paul. How often would you want to hear from him? And what would you want to hear? That was particularly for you, Gino. But I think one of the other challenges is sometimes when there isn't a big announcement to make, it's difficult to show up on a call when people have an expectation that you're going to make an announcement that gets them all riled up and excited, and it's really just more of the same thing. That things are in motion, doing what they are doing. Come on back, Gino.
Sure, no problems. We have a few things that have gone down in the project in the past, and we have airdrops, NFTs, PGNLZs, movie NFTs, this, that, and that. All I'm saying is that I think, let me just put my glasses on here for a second. Sorry, hitting 50 and my freaking eyes are shut. Give me a sec, okay? Sorry. Sorry, guys. We're at OSK is now at $16.42, right? First of all, before I get into all the NFTs and all that, what do you think of this drop, David? You're not the end all of it. I know. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, David, because you're a brother. We're all here together. Sorry. It's almost like it's David's fault. It's not David's fault, everyone. I just want you guys to know that. I know, David, we talk a lot here about crypto. All I want is for everyone else to see that, yes, prices drop, but we don't have anything to worry about. And that I was putting David on the spot to make him say the same thing, but I know he was going to say the same thing anyway. But sorry, David, you go ahead.
So good, man. Yeah, it's funny. I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were like, I didn't want to take my money out and go to this other project where the price is going up. I was like, well, when you find that project where the price only goes up, you stay there. Because you will have struck gold. Guys, it's just, yeah, it is the nature of the markets. Guys, I really do appreciate that that you show up and hang out, and I hope that what we do in doing so is valuable to each of you. And again, we are encouraging that this space becomes something that serves you, that you find valuable, and serves those people that you want to bring to the project. We're also real in the same vein that I just described with Paul. My attention and energy is also focused on bringing the project to developers and communities. And so we're going to people with communities, speaking with somebody that has access to 50,000 members in the community about our project. And so really excited to be able to think about the project from that perspective. And I want to continue to encourage all of us to do the same. You may not even know where these people are or who you're looking for, but just stay open to the idea and understand that that's what we're seeking. We're seeking leverage in relationships. And what we have to offer in FSTSwap is a community that understands one of the most important tenets in DeFi, and that is commitment to the liquidity pool. And then we also offer the ability to help people figure out how to navigate this space and to hold their hand as they do it, and help them figure out all the different ways that they can participate, all the passive earning opportunities, even in a down market, guys. I mean, the rate of earning is still better than anything that the average person has access to. So it represents a fantastic opportunity for people coming into crypto. And we still have hundreds of millions of people coming into crypto between now and the end of the year. We've got a great space to talk to them about. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night unless there's any other questions or comments. We'll be back Monday. Guys, before we go, just send some love, hugs, and kisses to Peter. Love and appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
I don't have any other question, but just the question that I had asked before is still unanswered.
Oh,
but hopefully somebody will be able to. I mean, it's not an urgent question. I mean, the fund is going to be there for 60 days anyway. I just wanted to know what the 46 fund at the top was.
Yep, I got it.
Expecting.
I got you. I hadn't forgot about you. I'll reach out to you as soon as we're done here.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right. Thanks, Julio. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you again for hanging out with us. We'll be back Monday, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Enjoy your Sunday. Love and appreciate you all.
Thanks,
Thank
David.
you, David. Have a good night, everyone.